Owen Kelly has the ball in his stick. If Ben O'Connor can do it, so can Owen Kelly. Good flick there by Ben's brother Jerry to disrupt him, but Kelly still has the ball. He's coming in the end line, going through, takes a shot, a goal for Waterford. Kelly has done it. If Dan can do it at one end, the cousin can do it and get a green flag. Great score by Owen Kelly. Ball now breaks to Seamus Prendergast, ball in his stick 45 metres out. He's heading the back to Owen Kelly. He's lobbing it in, looking for the cousin. That's Dan. Dan has gone high. He has the ball in his stick. Shot. It's a goal. He's done it again. Shanahan has rocked in it. Sullivan stood on the ground. Shanahan soared into the air, caught the ball, turned, and nobody could stop it. This man is on fire. Waterford are back and back with a bang. Paul Flynn prepares to take this one. It's about 40 metres out, keeping the concentration. He's hitting it in to the Killeen end. He's taking his time about this one. The referee says take it out. Bit of gamesmanship there between the referee there onto Paul, as Paul takes the concentration onto that ball, takes the ball, loads to go. He's done it again. He's rocked it in a vital score, and who better to do it? Everyone thought it. The players thought it. The top goalie and the fence thought it, but Paul Flynn didn't. Rocks the back of the net. Waterford go in front, 3-12 to 117. Stephen, you didn't even expect that one.
No, I didn't. No, and I know Paul quite well. That was an absolutely fantastic strike.
The 15 men of Cork against 14 from Waterford. Waterford lead by 1. The time is ticking down. Caught brilliantly by Ken McGrath. A match-saving catch if ever I saw one. Wins a free, it's as good as a score. When you need big men, who better to call on than Ken McGrath? Superb catch by Ken. His dad did it in 82 and 83. His dad was disappointed in 82 and 83. Ken and Owen won't be today. Paul Flynn has gone back to take it. By my stopwatch, it's all over. We played that extra time. Jack Kennedy from Ballyduff Lower. Tom Chase will be proud to see him come on. Jim D is out there talking to Justin McCarthy. Everybody's looking at their watch. Paul Flynn has lost to Hewwood. Huge one, hot under the bar. It's all over. It's all over. And Waterford are Munster champions. They've captured their 7th title, and the 45-year wait is over. We've finally beaten Cork since Frankie Walsh and the great men of 59 lifted the title. 2 Munster finals in 3 years, who would believe it? And Justin McCarthy is dancing with joy. He may be a Cork man, but my God, there's no prouder Cork man here today, and are we proud of him?
So delighted to be joined on the line now by Waterford manager in 2004, Justin McCarthy. And Justin, looking back at that 04 Munster final, was that one of the best provincial finals that you ever witnessed?
Well, for excitement and for sheer hurling intensity and, so close a game and the controversy in the game as well. I thought it was a classic game, there's no doubt about that. I would say, and not just because I was involved, but I've seen a lot of Munster finals, but I honestly think that this was just above average totally, and it had all the ingredients of a game that you kind of dream about, but you might never see it. But this one was out the top draw. I would say one of the best that I've seen anyhow.
Yeah, and Waterford hadn't beaten Cork in a Munster final since 1959. At that stage, just in a gap of 45 years. Like, when you came in as manager, did you try and instill a kind of belief in the players that they were good enough to beat a kind of a traditional team like Cork?
Well, yeah, when I came in in 2002, or the end of 2001, basically, for the 2002 championship, I always felt that there was something in them that, that they could go another step, possibly. There's different steps along the way that teams can improve on, and I'd be looking at the different aspects of their game and so on that they might improve on. Most games are won and lost, realistically, on players not being consistent enough or making mistakes on the ball or maybe not taking the opportunities, and then the confidence issue would come into play because, I'm a great believer, if you're playing well, you'll run all day. If you're not playing well, you're afraid to run, and then you'll be sort of hesitant and behind and so on, and you're waiting for something to happen. So I was always trying to instill. I'd be positive and I'd be confident. And realistic too. That I felt like that there was something in it from the breakthrough in 2002. Maybe there was a look in 2003, and then 2004 came along, and we were improving all the time. I felt that that opportunity was there, and it's given the players, not tying up the players too much and giving them a bit of freedom, because I watched Waterford hurling back from 1959 on, and I always admired them, and I thought they had that flair and imagination, and they had that sort of a style of play which was great to watch, and I didn't want to ever kind of discourage that. I wanted to try them, maybe enhance that and bring them up a level, and that's what I was trying to do all the time, with other people as well. Don't forget, I had good lads with me too, like, you know, I mean, there's another, Colin Bonner was there in the earlier, Shamey Hannon, so, you know, he was a very solid man and good judge of the game and players and so on, and so we had people with us that could, you know, that were 100% behind any system we play, but it was given players to the ability for that bit of freedom, not to be curtailing too much, and I felt that there was always that chance was there of making that breakthrough.
Yeah, was that your attitude from the very start, Justin, that you wanted to give these players an opportunity to express themselves out in the field?
Yeah, but you only do that when you have good hurling sessions and good quality training sessions and so on. I think, you know, there's such a thing as hurling fitness. And I always feel hurling fitness comes from playing a lot of hurling and then playing it at a higher speed and training and so on, when you come up to a level. You know, like, if you had a whole team and you put them back on the in-line and throw up 50 yards, they'd all be the same maybe. But, you know, like, we're going to the ball and adjusting to the ball and, you know, having that imagination and that anticipation that you need. Some good hurling sessions bring on that. I mean, on top of good hurling sessions, you'd want to go 40 or 50 of them at least before you see good improvement, but then the improvement comes along and then you're adding up all the time and topping it up to become that bit better. But they had that ability too, don't forget that. I mean, the ability is there. And there was different individuals in the team, had different strengths and weaknesses, so you have to work on those things. You're dealing with a lot of people and personalities and so on, but I was always very confident. I knew we could win a lot, and certainly they achieved an awful lot too.
And in your time as Waterford manager, Justin, you came up against Cork 9 times in Championship between 2002 and 2007. Did you ever have any difficulty plotting against your native county?
I didn't really know. Like, I'm a hurling person, and you know, when I go out there, like, whether it's a junior game or an intermediate game or a senior game, and I'm involved with some team or some club or whatever the case, I do this all in the interest of the game of hurling, that I want to make a contribution. And I felt I was making a contribution to a county that hadn't that much success, and you know, and maybe that they needed that bit of lift in the background and so on to bring them out further. So there was never that question. It was 100% all the time. You know, I mean, I wasn't asked by Cork to coach or manage. I was a good few times, but I wasn't that particular. In the noughties, I wasn't. So I mean, I wanted to try and bring the team that I was with. It's great to see. It's great to see good players winning something and achieving something, and it's great to see good supporters and people who follow the game, you know, year after year, and to see what the success does. Because I don't want, in my time, I would never want one or two teams to dominate the game of hurling. I think it's great to see it spreading, and I was true enough. You know, a few All-Irelands and Mulcair one, and you know, so like the point is, the game has to be spreading around, and all I was doing was making a contribution towards it.
And what was going through your mind, Justin, when John Milan was sent off early in the second half? You
know, there was no kind of panic, to be honest. There wasn't an awful lot of panic, to be straight about it. It was a big loss, obviously, but you know, we were coping. The game was, you know, taking its course, and you know, you'd have to readjust a little bit, and I think people then stood up and be counted and put up you went up a notch, and the players went up a notch then to another level to compensate, and you know, I think maybe Cork would have used the loose man a bit, the extra man a bit. I don't think they used him that well. They brought Sullivan out round the half-back line, and kind of he was floating around, but sometimes you think then, like, you have the game in the bag, and you know, we just kept working hard and got the scores, and there were some great scores, I mean, that day, like, in great passages of play, and looking forward now to see it again on Sunday. I think it was on Sunday. So it's you know, fellas just, they sensed that, you know, they weren't going to lie down and just take it, and you know, and just moved on. I'd say John Milan was probably a bigger loss when we played Kilkenny later on in the championship. You know, he was a big loss that time. But he was the last that day too. But I felt like that we were in momentum and we were moving, and fellas just played on, and there was no questions asked,
And Paul Flynn really stepped up to the plate, Justin, with 1-7, including that goal into the declining end. Like, what was he like to work with during your time in charge?
Well, there was times when I saw Paul Flynn, and I saw shades of Christy Ring in him at times, on and off. I saw Ring when I was young. I was studying him and so on. And Paul Flynn had that kind of ability. He had a great head. He had a tremendous shot. He was cool. Maybe too cool sometimes, but overall, he stood up to play at that end. That was an exceptional goal. There's no doubt about that. That was an exceptional goal, to get and take the chance. But he had that kind of devilment to them sometimes, and when you get that out of him, he was hard to stop. There's no doubt about that. And he took one look, and they were side by side. They were all looking on, and of course they were all going to stop it. And it was just clinical finishing. And I have to mention, Owen Kelly got an amazing goal when he went down the wing and ran down the wing maybe 50, 60 yards, and he cut in, fellas behind him, and came a great goal. I thought that was an outstanding goal as well. That was as good a goal as you'd see in Thurles.
You had plenty of talented forwards, Justin, but you also had fellas that could win primary ball as well and lay it off to the likes of Milan and Kelly and Flynn, the likes of Seamus Prendergast and Michael Brick Welch, and they were very important in that victory as well.
Yeah, you see, they were players that you need those in the team. You can't have all stylish players all the time. You need a mix, and there's no doubt about it like that. Seamus Prendergast that day and Brick Welch as well. There's no doubt about that like that. These were players like that. They could hold their own, in tough exchanges and so on. And of course, Ken McGrath was also playing, he was outstanding. He and Tony Brown, they were, so there was, that leadership that was there, that came out at the right time and gave them the impetus, to go on and win, and we're not going to be beaten. And when leaders like that perform, other fellas they might be slightly lesser players in one way, but they all respond in, and everyone kind of, feels that they can do it.
And when you think back on it now, Justin, do you feel that Waterford could have gone on to win the All-Ireland that year?
Well, you need to look to win the All-Ireland, and as I said earlier, John Milan was probably a last that day against Kilkenny. I think we were beat by 45 points in the end, and he would have, naturally enough, they would have felt that he was a big loss, and they're no better team to capitalise than Kilkenny. So, yeah, it could, but I don't want to judge players entirely on winning All-Ireland medals. To be honest about it, it's great to win it, but you look back at players and they'll all go down history as outstanding hurlers. And the contribution they made. I know fellas who have All-Ireland medals in Cork and other counties, and so they'll be forgotten overnight, kind of, because they hadn't that kind of ability, or that they couldn't give those classic performances that some of the lads in Waterford did.
Well, I hope you enjoyed our look back at the 2004 Munster Hurling Final. Thanks so much for listening. Take care, and until next time, Slán go fóill.